Hello, good day. So my name is Mr. McCoy, and today we shall be looking at solving questions under trigonometry using SOHCAHTOA. So we have right angled triangles where one of the angles is 90 degrees. You can have hypotenuse, opposite, and adjacent. For this kind of triangles, I told you in a previous video that there are two main calculations involved here. One of them is Pythagoras theorem, and this one is SOHCAHTOA. So I explained Pythagoras theorem in the other video. Today we shall be looking at SOHCAHTOA. So this SOHCAHTOA is an abbreviation for a formula. So S means sine equals O, opposite over H, hypotenuse. That's SOH. For CAH, it means cos equals adjacent over hypotenuse. And tan equals opposite over adjacent. These are the three formulas. So the one you use depends on which side you were given and which angle you're dealing with, all right? Okay, now let's try a question under this. All right? Look at this question. It's a right angle triangle. You have the angle given. You have the 90 degree. This is the hypotenuse, and down here is the adjacent. This is the opposite of 60. We're not given the opposite. So what we're given is the adjacent and the hypotenuse. Adjacent and hypotenuse. Adjacent and hypotenuse. Okay, so you see the difference between Pythagoras theorem and SOHCAHTOA is that in Pythagoras theorem you only deal with the sides. In Pythagoras theorem you don't find angles, or you don't have anything to do with the angles, just the sides. But for SOHCAHTOA you deal with both angles and sides. So here now we have the adjacent and the hypotenuse. So which formula deals with adjacent and hypotenuse? That's cos. Because cosine or cos equals adjacent over hypotenuse. So that's what we're going to use. So we say cos the angle, which is cos 60 equals the adjacent x over hypotenuse 10. What's cos 60? Cos 60 is 0.5. So you have 0.5 equals x over 10. Now you can cross multiply this. 10 times 0.5 will give you 5. So you have 5 equals x. That means x equals to 5. So the missing side is 5. Alright? Okay, so another example we're looking at is this. Alright? So what do? First thing first, let's look at what we're given. We're given the angle. For this angle, we're given the side facing this angle is the opposite. So we're given the opposite, and the longest side is the hypotenuse. So we're given the opposite and the hypotenuse. And which of the formulas deal with opposite and hypotenuse? That's sine. So that will become sine 30 equals opposite 8 over hypotenuse x. Because the formula for sine is sine equals opposite over hypotenuse. So sine 30, sine the angle, equals the opposite, which is 8, over the hypotenuse, which is x. Now we can simplify from here. What is sine 30? Sine 30 is 0.5 and 8 over x. So we'll cross this. X times 0.5 will give you 0.5x equals 8. Now to make x the summate of formula, you divide both sides by 0.5. 0.5, 0.5. This cancels out. You have x equals 8 over 0.5 is 16. Yeah, that's how to do it. So first thing first, you need to find out what you were given before you start deciding which formula to use. If you're given the adjacent and hypotenuse, use cos. If you're given the opposite and hypotenuse, use sine. If you're given the adjacent, the opposite and adjacent, use tan. Alright?